Hello and welcome back to LEGO City Undercover. This is Bio Enchanted and today we'll be going for the other island, Apollo Island. So let's see what there is to do over there, shall we?
I captain this ferry too. Let's go sail.
I like aspects of this island, but other aspects of it are fairly irritating that I'll go over when we actually arrive there. Here we are. First of all, we have this race right here, so let's take care of this, shall we? This race is actually quite tricky because it's a very, very, very tight time limit and it's a very slow boat. Somehow I managed to get through it without much problem though, so that's nice. See, it starts off with that little time limit, it's like ridiculous. It's a very winding course. It's very easy to accidentally get beached in the swamps around this area. And yeah, this is why I don't really like this area much. It's mostly swamps, so it can be very boring to navigate. It's got some interesting set pieces, of course, like the Space Center itself and everything like that, but the areas between the parts of the Space Center are fairly monotonous because it's just wetlands. I mean, they're nice enough to look at in their own way for a bit of a change when you first come here, but after a while of searching the island for the stuff you've missed, it gets a little bit old. It's very dull kind of colours of green and everything like that. It's not the nicest shades of everything. There's a banana yellow boat that was kind of... Generally, it's just one of those areas that's a little dull to look at outside the main buildings. But here we are approaching the end of this race. Yeah, we're at over 1 billion subs at this point. Which is just gratifying, I love that. Yeah, that's a weird way for it. I don't know why all these boat races seem to end in that kind of way, jumping onto the shore and stalling like that. So let's look around and see what we can find around here, shall we? First of all, a colour gun puzzle. I don't know why I called it that, but one of the collectibles is this skips yellow. And over here, of course, is in the western end of the island, at least the left-hand part of it from the harbour. There's a harbour over there, you can see it. Anyway, facing forward, this is to the left, this big building we're building now. The main space is straight ahead, and to the right are the warehouses and vehicle storage places that we're already aware of. Of course, with the rocket in the centre, that's so that you know where we are at any given point, because there's a lot of cutting between locations here, because there's so much transit, and a lot of the transit just is uninteresting. It's not the transit's fault, it's a nice enough area, but there's just a lot of it. But I like those kind of long shots, we see all the buildings in one shot, that looks really good. So let's follow this trail of studs to the obviously marked astronaut pad and see what we can do with that, shall we? This particular part of it I do quite like, because it's got some interesting aspects to the main puzzle in this area, beyond just building a massive thing where before there was just nothing but swamp. Now we'll finally see what these little doors go to. We go inside this building, so let's see what we can do in here, shall we? So we do need dynamite to get in there, but of course we have the infinite dynamite sheet on, but if we didn't, that is where we'd get it from. This astronaut pad leads into the room to our behind us right now, but I'll show it off in a minute. Here we are, and that leads to that dynamite thing, and we can use that to get where we need to go. So yeah, let's actually get in here and figure out this puzzle, shall we? Unfortunately, you can't break all the supercomputers. They're indestructible objects. Seems a little something, but they're nice looking environmental objects, and they give a pretty cool depth to the room as well. So here we have a fairly basic puzzle. It's not even really timed as far as I remember. You just need to be accurate with your jumps. Just push the buttons in order. It's not even like a game of Lights Out. You just push the buttons. It looks like it would have been a game of Lights Out. That would have been more interesting, if a bit more annoying, but yeah, this is something at least. A little follow the leader to open the garage. And I bet you thought that was a new map, didn't you? That I just cut the loading screen to, but no, it actually is part of the main map. I quite like that. It's a cool idea for a set piece in this area. So let's head down there, shall we? And we failed the race the first time, hence a somewhat harsh cut to the race this time. But yeah, this vehicle spawned, so obviously that means this is a race. And this is a very weird race because this is the bounciest vehicle in the game. It's so bouncy, it's really hard to keep control of it. And with how tight the time limit in this race is, it makes it very unforgiving if you screw up. And of course we need that garage open because if we couldn't cut through it, we wouldn't have a chance of getting there in time. Just look at this. That would have wasted too much time going around it. At least I think that's the idea. We may have been able to just make it, but it would have been a very stressful race. But I do like that this race gives you a really good tour of the entire island, and I like it for that. It's a well planned out route, even if it can be a little annoying to follow at times. Whoops. The main problem with this race comes right at the end, and you'll see why in a minute. Well, in 8 seconds. Yeah, that was a very close one. And luckily these kind of straighten you out so you don't have to worry about launching yourself into the water like an idiot by approaching it at a weird angle. This is difficult, this part though. You have to really slow down to get around that, otherwise that happens. I was very close to dunking myself in the water again. That's the most common reason I failed that race, is dunking myself in the water right at the end there by just overshooting the bridge slightly. There's a time trial done, we've got the Cocoon. Which of course is a heavy vehicle. Which is weird, because it seems like it would be more of a working vehicle, but that's just the way the game classifies it. So let's build a loop-de-loop on an airstrip. Again, that couldn't possibly go wrong, could it? Technically it'll give any kind of aircraft more lift, I guess. But also we have something else right at the end of the ramp as well. So let's go build that, shall we? I think it's fairly obvious what it's going to be because of what you can see just ahead of it. Yeah, this is just, it couldn't be more telegraphed if it tried to be a stunt ramp, could it? Super builds are left now. I remember early when there was 65 of the bloody things and we were so like, oh, this is going to be so many. And now we've also broken 400 gold bricks. Which is very nice, only 50 more to go. I take umbrage with most of them, but we'll see why right at the end of the LP, basically the final video. So yeah, this is a bit weird as well, this little rooftop, because it's useless. You can climb up to the top of it with that, but it doesn't go anywhere, and you can't get anywhere from it either. I tried. It just doesn't let you get anywhere from that rooftop, and it's a very weird, unsatisfying rooftop. But here we have our final one of these. Da-da-da-da-da. Boom. And there we have the Super Wrestler, which is weird. After all these, one thing's kind of annoying with those as well is after all these like cameos from Mario characters, you kind of expect a Lego Mario character to come out of both those and the Power Stars, but it just like maybe unlocking Mario and Luigi. But instead, the stars come out to end up unlocking a pun, and that is completely irrelevant. The Super Wrestler is completely irrelevant to those bricks in the first place. So it's like, why even have that be the thing you win there? This doesn't really make much sense, and it's a fairly odd way of hiding two character tokens that really should have just been standard tokens, honestly. I mean, it's again a cute cameo and a kind of a clever little sort of secret, but not really. But it just kind of feels irrelevant when you actually get them. You're just like, really, that's it? I was expecting some kind of cameo. Like, I don't know, maybe a Yoshi motorbike vehicle or something like that. Just anything really that's Mario related that could be interesting for a collectible in the game. Also, there's something I want to bring up now, because I have no idea how to actually get into it. There is a garage in front of the police station we've never explored. That's because it requires a cheat code that I am not privy to. I might look it up, see what it is, or whether, unless it's a personal... I mean, a personal one from beating a different thing. But I really have no idea what that's even for. But I'll research it though. So even if I can't open it myself due to not having the right stuff or something like that, I'll mention it in the thread. And if I can open it myself, like if I can find the password somewhere online, then I'll show it off then. So let's climb the hangar, shall we? That's also what that terminal in front of the thing is for. It's for entering some kind of cheat code that, again, I don't know. Because it's not necessary to get 100% in the game, because that would be kind of cheap if it was. Because it might even be something you get for like buying a Lego set or something like that, that's like comes up in the game. I really have no idea. Or it could even be something that comes up from the prequel that was released a few years later. Or later that year, I don't know really, but yeah, there was a prequel to this as well about like the original story between Chase McCain and Rex Fury, one that I haven't played myself. Yeah, there's Jenny Rathbone with a weirdly pained expression on her face. So over here we're back up, so let's do an interesting little visual thing and soar over the loop-de-loop, which is an interesting thing, because it's not something that really comes up in the game, going on top of a loop-de-loop rather than underneath it. It's a neat kind of change in perspective, and it shows off just how high we are here with the jetpack. Nowhere near as high as the actual top of the building, of course, but it's still pretty high up. I like the position of this character token. It's always fairly satisfying to be able to slide into a collectible. Also, just notice that the white pieces right on top of those blue poles actually form a little arrow pointing towards the slidey pole, and I quite like that. It's like a neat little, this is the direction you'll be going in. You have to go up the pole and down the thing, not the other way around. It's like a slide. A really precarious slide. This is tricky. If you don't know to be very careful getting on these blue things. There we are. We're stuck to it. Thank you. Let's just get off it as soon as possible and take this pig to its pen, shall we? I do like the palm trees and everything, especially combined with the usual coniferous trees and everything like that. It's a neat kind of thing. Visual disparity almost, but not quite. And of course over here we have something that no area in this game can be without. And it's a godsend that it's here, because as you may have noticed, there were vehicles in that area with the loop-de-loop, but they despawned off camera. Which is just mean. It's the rudest thing to do that. But here we've unlocked the Wanderer. Another, of course, heavy vehicle. There's a lot of them in this area. And finally we can come over here to a character token I tried to get earlier and failed because I didn't have Rex Fury yet. Because you can only really go under this in one direction and one position, right behind this big random box. And of course we have Forrest Blackwell under there in his spacesuit, which actually counts, I believe, as an astronaut piece, not a villain piece. Because it's his astronaut suit version. I think it might be criminal actually, I can't remember, but either way, it's one of those two, and it's for Blackwell, so. So now we have a car, so let us actually use those things we just unlocked, shall we? Chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang. Chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang. Hey, you, chitty chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang, we love you. Of course, over here is our boulder, because where else would it be? That's not active yet, but we'll see why in a minute. Well, it might be active and it just didn't have the thing going yet, but first of all, we have to press these buttons in a time limit, a very easy time limit. And all of a sudden, Zerg's lair. Well, a silo anyway. A nice silo with the red brick, the super ray gun, which we will never use. So many red bricks in this game that will just never get used because of timing. And the game's obviously balanced around the idea of getting these as soon as you can get them, pretty much. So like, the ray gun would have been useful in the levels in this area if you did that super build and got the car to get there.
How could he?
Because we probably intended to get the super ray gun on the way to doing the Forest Blackwell stuff at the moon base and everything like that. And over here, of course, we have another cup of coffee. So why not over caffeinate? Couldn't hurt.
I bought too much.
And of course, this area's got a lot of big buildings in it, and there's where the dynamite in this area is. That's kind of tricky, right in the corner where you can't really see it. Very well hidden, very naughty. First of all, though, we actually have some things in here to plant. Of course, where else would artificial flowers be? Artificial, you know what I mean, a planter. Controlled flowers. They wouldn't be in the main garden, is what I mean. They wouldn't be in the main swamp. Wouldn't make any sense for them to be there, so of course they're in a artificial place. And also up here, of course those yellow dumpsters are all over the place. Of course there's another one up here. So let's fly over to it and paint it, shall we, to finish that side quest off. Happily, a lot of these tend to come in pairs with the already coloured versions of themselves, so you can kind of get things going from there. And like, see what you're trying to do. At least they come with, in one case at least, they always come in those kind of pairs, at least once, so you can see what colour it needs to be, so you can solve the puzzle. That's where the puzzle comes in, really, is if you don't have a super colour gun, figuring out which colour each object should be. But I don't know anyone who wouldn't go for the super colour gun first, honestly, if they knew where it was, because it makes things so much easier. Well, we can almost reach it. There we have the garbage man. This young man's a dustman. He wears a dustman's hat. References old, obscure British. I don't even know the rest of the thing to it. I quite like this little ride. That's pretty cool. I like the giant astronaut in the middle of it as well. It's fairly neat visual, that. So let's jump in, shall we? Once we've got the Dutch Danish. Sounds more like some kind of pastry than a person, but there we go. He's got an odd name. I can only assume he's Scandinavian of some description. Don't know whether Dutch or Danish, but one of the two. Although either that or it's just some weird nickname. Maybe we just ran out of names and went straight for ethnicities. Like eventually we'll just see someone called Frenchie Or something like that. Or so. Yeah, nothing on that corner, but we've destroyed our statue as well. Not our statue, but you know what I mean. It's not our statue in any sense of the word. It doesn't look like us, and it's not commissioned by us. But yeah, let's finally climb this building a little higher than this. Once I've made sure there's nothing wrong in any of these corners, because the game likes to pull that kind of stuff. Of course, we're encroaching upon our kitty cat. Hang on, cat, we'll get you soon. Don't be no, I'm better than that. In the hat you go with all your little friends. It's getting very cramped in there, must smell terrible right now. We're gonna get to the fire station, unload his hat, and there's a bunch of dead cats gonna come falling out. There's a lot of this going on in this building, because of course, how else would you quickly get across the front of it? Because if it was just these railings, that would suck. It would be so unfun to have to go on these railings around that buildings, like this size. So it's always nice to have so many of these little running paths, because they're much more satisfying. And of course, if we get hit by a saw blade, we can always turn back time. A couple of these areas look like they should have things in them, but they're just kind of there for architectural decoration. There we have our free one, which starts halfway up the building, which is a little odd, but there you go. So let's see what we can do up here before we start doing that though, because of course if one always moves you right up to the bottom of the building again, which is never fun, so we're going to do as much as we can up here first. Save that, because that's obvious what that's going to be. Sorry about that, staving off a bit of a cough there. And some throat going a bit weird there. But we can always know what that box is going to be, so we'll save that, because we know it will make us jump off the building to do it, so let's do as much as we can up here first. And of course I took a while to find that, because I couldn't tell where it spawned. Or couldn't remember where it spawned anyway, by the time I actually got around to collecting it. But here we go, we have another super build done, only one more to go. Where could it be? So let's repair this and do our little drilling challenge. Yeah, almost hit 2 billion studs right now. It really goes up fast when you have all the multipliers on at once. And 3,600 and 3,840. I had to wait to come back up so I could see the number again. Bad at remembering that kind of stuff. That was weird, that one didn't actually count with it. Went a bit too fast over it, I think. I got the way it's been kind of escalating as well. That's quite gratifying. I like that view there as well, where the camera kind of pans down a little bit, so you can see what's coming up with the ride down there and everything like that. It gives a good sense of scale. There we have our drill fill done. So now, let's blow this joint. Rather, let's blow this joint. and find out what's going on here, shall we? What's the word? Double thinking the word there, that was odd.
Well, Mr. Jenkins, I'm very impressed. Your test scores are off the chart. Your references are impeccable, and you passed the physical with flying colors. Overall, I think you'll make an excellent astronaut. Do you have any questions for us?
Just one. I'm scared of heights. Will that be a problem?
Nah.
Another donut, Carl? I thought you were on a diet.
No need. I checked last week and I weigh 0.0 grams.
Carl, did you weigh yourself in space again?
Oh, breadsticks. I knew it was too good to be true.
I wonder if there are aliens out there.
I'll check. Nah, it's all clear.
Thanks. I owe them money.
Not cool, dude. Pay back your alien friends.
Wow. This sure is a long way to come just to plan what we're gonna do, Marv.
Yeah, because I don't want to get busted like all the other gangs did.
Right. Well, seeing as we're on Apollo Island anyhow, why don't we try and steal a spaceship?
I like it. I've always said that what this gang lacks is ridiculously over-the-top thinking. Let's go.
A spaceship? The last thing we need is criminals in space.
One thing I quite like though is that I completely by accident I wound up with this one being the very last gang to do, which made that conversation very appropriate with the whole don't want to get caught like the other guys did. That's why we're all the way out here. Because of course we could easily have done this one like first. If we had been asked to wait that long, we could have done this one first.
I love this place.
But it feels really good for this one to be the last one, like, because it feels like the ending of the actual game as well, with the whole like stopping Forrest Blackwell doing his crimes in space and then stopping these guys doing their crimes in space. It's an interesting kind of
Oh, fine. Tell my lawyer it's the usual.
ooh, that made a little tone, that's
Hope I get
cute.
my old cell
It's an
again.
interesting kind
I'll
of
put up curtains.
You're gonna regret the day you met me.
symmetry, I guess you could call it. But something that annoys me is I never got the phrase I was hoping for, which is this one cute moment where, like, sometimes when one of the guys is goading you into attacking, he'll go, "Come on, try your best." It's a really cute line. It's a shame no one's ever said it, as far as I recall. But that's what the gang's done. And for that, we finally get Marion Dunby's character token, which seems appropriate. He's a bad cop, but he is the chief of police. And there we have it. All gangs arrested.
You just arrested the last gang member on the list, Chase.
Day off.
An appropriately grandiose position as well. Now, of course, back up here for the actual free run. Get your helmet back on, mate. Dangerous. All the oxygen on Earth could just be sucked out randomly, you never know. Saw it on Doctor Who once. Could happen. Watch out for farting bureaucrats. So, let's continue climbing this, shall we? And see just how much closer to 2 billion suns we can get. Because these small trails are giving us 1 million apiece. There we are. The jetpack almost scooped me a little there. Almost caused me problems. And there we have it. Unfortunately, due to us being an astronaut, we can't roll into it, you have to walk into it. Screws up the entire thing when it comes to feeling kind of awesome. And there we are, we unlock Bud Hawkins. Another astronaut, of course. So many astronauts. So many. And so next, we have one more set of things to do. So let's go get this alien sorted out, shall we? Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer true. I'm half crazy, oh for the love of you. Come back here, I'm calling you Daisy. You will be mine. There we are. Penultimate alien too. Yeah, sorry, I started off with the Hell 9000 and just got weird, sorry about that. Blame the content of the song, I guess. Seems to be all about obsession with this girl called Daisy, so it seemed kind of an appropriate joke to make, I don't know. So over here we have me realizing where this actual stupid thing spawned, because I had literally checked everywhere else on the island up until this point. Then I remembered it's over here. I remembered I mean so it spawned in, so now we have the radio DJ, and that's done. So I'll see you next time, as we explore one final area. Goodbye.